Hi everyone, I am Dr. Kamlesh Golab, HOD of Department of Physiology, Anantrao Konchaganapati Medical College, Ayapata. Today we will discuss important organ in the brain, that is basal ganglia. So basal ganglia is a scattered mass of a gray matter present in subcortical substance of a cerebral hemispheres. This basal ganglia also forms a part of extrapyramidal system. These basal ganglia are consist of three main components such as corpus striatum, substantia nigra, and subthalamic nucleus, which is also called as subthalamic nucleus of Lewis. We will discuss one by one in detail. First, we will discuss corpus striatum. These are all basal ganglia, that is corpus striatum and substantia nigra and subthalamic nucleus. This is a pair of substantia nigra. This is a pair of subthalamic nucleus, and this is corpus striatum. This corpus striatum is consist of two types of nucleus, caudate nucleus and lenticular nucleus. We will discuss in detail. So this corpus striatum, it is a masses of gray matter present at the base of cerebral hemispheres in close relation to the thalamus, and it is divided into two parts. It is caudate nucleus and lenticular nucleus. So this corpus striatum is divided into two parts. This is a caudate nucleus of corpus striatum, and this is a lenticular nucleus of corpus striatum. This lenticular nucleus, if you see, this we will discuss one by one. Caudate nucleus, it is a elongated and arched gray mass lying medial to the internal capsule. Throughout its length, caudate nucleus is related to lateral ventricle. Caudate nucleus has a head portion and a tail portion. You can study this well in this diagram. This is the caudate nucleus, and this is the head of caudate nucleus, and tail of caudate nucleus runs medial to the thalamus, and it follows the lateral wall of lateral ventricle, and it ends somewhere here. So the course is like this. The same thing is mentioned. Caudate nucleus has a head portion and a tail portion. Head is bulged into lateral ventricle and situated above the thalamus. Tail is long, arched and extends along dorsal surface of thalamus and ends in amyloid nucleus. In this diagram, it is elaborated nicely. This is head of caudate nucleus, which is in relation with putamen. So this is the tail of caudate nucleus, which turns around the thalamus, and it follows the lateral wall of lateral ventricle, and it ends at amyloid nucleus or amygdala, which that is a part of limbic system. Next is lenticular nucleus. It is a wedge-shaped gray mass situated lateral to the internal capsule. Right. So this lenticular nucleus, the ventral plate of white matter is called external medullary lamina. So this external medullary lamina divides this lenticular nucleus into two parts: outer putamen and inner globus pallidus. So you can see this outer putamen and inner globus pallidus. So this is divided. These two nucleus are divided by the external medullary lamina. Putamen and caudate nucleus are newer part of corpus striatum called striatum, and globus pallidus is the older part of corpus striatum, which is called as pallidum. This inner globus pallidus has also got two parts, that is inner part, inner segment and outer segment of globus pallidus. You can see this is inner segment of globus pallidus, this is outer segment of globus pallidus, and this is a putamen. I will repeat once again. Corpus striatum is formed by, this is basal. This corpus striatum is formed by caudate nucleus and lenticular nucleus. This lenticular nucleus is formed by putamen and globus pallidus. This globus pallidus has again got two parts, that is internal segment and external segment of globus pallidus. Then substantia nigra. Substantia nigra is the second part of these basal ganglia. It is situated below the red nucleus, and it is situated in the midbrain. So it is related with midbrain. This is substantia nigra. This is a part of midbrain. This is the bones. So substantia nigra is situated in the midbrain, and it is part of basal ganglia. So this substantia nigra, it is made up of large pigmented and small non-pigmented cell. Function of substantia nigra is to produce dopamine, which plays a key role in control of movements. This substantia nigra plays important role in the control of movements. So degeneration of this substantia nigra produces a well-known disease which is called as Parkinson's disease. This Parkinson's disease is a cognitive, it forms cognitive defects. What are these cognitive defects? Cognitive defects are uh, due to impairment in an individual's mental process. The disease is called as Parkinson's disease. This midbrain, this substantia nigra is present in midbrain and is responsible for production of dopamine. That's why they are also called as dopamine producing cell. You can see here in this diagram very well that this substantia nigra is normal in this person. It looks like this normal substantia nigra, but in Parkinson's disease, definitely there is a destruction of normal substantia nigra, which leads to the less production of dopamine and further symptoms. The third part of basal ganglia are subthalamic nucleus, which is also called as nucleus of Lewis. This lies medial to the internal capsule. This is the internal capsule. So this is a posterior limb of internal capsule. Just it lies at the bottom and medial to the posterior limb of internal capsule. That is subthalamic nucleus, and it is present dorsal to the substantia nigra, and lesion of this subthalamic nucleus may lead to the hemibalism. What is hemibalism? It is a type of chorea which is caused due to increase in muscle tone, right? That is called as hemibalismus. Balism. Functions of basal ganglia. It is important to study functions of all these three types of basal ganglia. So it plays very important role in it forms a part of extrapyramidal system, and all these extrapyramidal system it regulates causes regulation of all motor activities. So this is the first function. Second function is control of muscle tone. So this basal ganglia, it plays important role in control of muscle tone. So during lesion of basal ganglia, muscle tone definitely increases, and as muscle tone increases, it gives rigidity to the upper and lower extremities. So second and third function of basal ganglia is control of motor activity. So this is under that it is responsible for regulation of voluntary movements. Voluntary movements are initiated at cerebral cortex, and all these basal ganglia are in very close relation to the cerebral cortex, so it controls all voluntary activities. Second function is regulation of conscious movements. Basal ganglia is known as it controlling cognitive movements. The next is regulation of subconscious movements. Cortical fibers reaching putamen are directly concerned with subconscious movement and skilled activities such as writing of a learned alphabet. That is also controlled by basal ganglia. Next function is control of reflex muscular activity. Labyrinthine and visual reflexes, which takes part in maintaining posture, are important. Basal ganglia are responsible for coordination and integration of impulses for all these reflex activities. Next important function of basal ganglia is control of automatic movements. Swing of arm while walking or appropriate facial expressions while talking. So all these are called as automatic movements, and these are controlled by basal ganglia. That is the reason in Parkinson's disease, all these activities get affected. Person get mask-like face. Next important function of basal ganglia is in arousal mechanism. So globus pallidus and red nucleus are involved in arousal mechanism. Lesion to this may cause drowsiness or sleep. Then we will discuss applied physiology. In applied physiology, the important basic disease that we have to supposed to study is Parkinson's disease. This Parkinson's disease, it is a slowly progressive degenerative disease of the nervous system. It is discovered by James Parkinson. That's why name is given after James Parkinson. The Parkinson's disease name is given after him. It is also called as paralysis agitans, another name of Parkinson's disease. Cause is lack of dopamine because just now we studied that basal ganglia, that is especially substantia nigra, that is a part of basal ganglia, plays important role in secretion of dopamine. So definitely destruction or any lesion to substantia nigra causes decreased secretion of dopamine, which is going to cause rigidity and increase muscle tone of the body. That's why this disease is also called as paralysis agitans. So cause is lack of dopamine caused by damage of basal ganglia, especially substantia nigra. Signs and symptoms: tremor in the wrist, which disappear at any work. Then slowness of movement. First of all, bradykinesia. This term you should remember, you should understand very well. Bradykinesia, that is slowness of movements. It progresses to akinesia, and akinesia is unable to initiate the voluntary activity, which progresses to hypokinesia, that is reduced voluntary movements. Next signs and symptom is poverty of movements. Poverty of movements, body becomes statue-like, face become mask-like, no expressions on the face, which is called as expressionless face. Rigidity, extremities become rigid like pillars due to increased muscle tone, and this muscle tone is increased due to the decreased secretion of dopamine. This is called as layered pipe rigidity. Gait. This Parkinsonism has got the typical gait, which is called as festinant gait. So patient walks quickly with short step with bending forward. You can see very nicely festinant gait in this diagram. So patient walks with bending at the back and doing short steps because of rigid slowness of all movements with mask-like face, expressionless face, which is called as pestilent gait. Speech problems is a next symptom. Speech becomes slurred and patient speaks rapidly. Then the next symptom is emotional changes. The patient gets emotionally upset due to all these problems. Dementia. In later stages, patient may develop dementia. The next applied physiology we have to study next disease is Wilson's disease. It is inherited disorder. It is not like a Parkinson disease. Parkinson disease is a degenerative disorder, but this Wilson disease is an inherited disorder, uh, which is characterized by excess of copper in the body. Okay, it is also known as progressive hepatocellular degeneration. It is in this copper is deposited in the liver, in the brain, in the kidneys, and the eyes, and it causes damage to all these organs. Then next point in the applied physiology is chorea. It is an abnormal, involuntary, rapid, jerky movement of limbs due to the lesion of caudate nucleus and putamen. Next applied physiology we have to study is athetosis. Now try to understand difference between chorea and athetosis. Athetosis, both are abnormal involuntary movements, but athetosis is slow, rhythmic, twisting movements due to the lesion of caudate nucleus and putamen. On the contrary, chorea is a rapid and jerky movement. Next is Huntington chorea. Huntington chorea, it is characterized by hypotonia, dementia. It is also called as Huntington's disease. Then next applied physiology, next disease you can see study that is hemibellismus. It is a violent involuntary movement of one side of the body involving arm. It occurs due to degeneration of subthalamic nucleus. And at last that we have to study is Kernick teres. Kernick teres, it is a form of brain damage in infants due to severe jaundice, occurs due to the lesion of basal ganglia. So all this is all discussion of basal ganglia. Please remember how basal ganglia is formed with their three main structures, that is corpus, stratum, substantia nigra, and subthalamic nucleus. Then you study functions of basal, all these basal ganglia, and at last applied physiology, which includes all these diseases. Thank you very much.